Hi, I'm Allison Meyer, and these are my friends Alexis Cruz
Oh no!
and Bailey Mount. And this is Bad Fanfiction Fridays, where we aim to bring you the good, the bad, and the ugly of fanfiction. And we're back for another round of Real People Fanfiction, which is apparently the actual title of this subgenre of fanfiction, which I wasn't really aware of. I saw like the initials RPF, but I never knew what it meant.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So I'm learning new stuff every day. But I think what we're really here is to find out from Bailey what's been going on with the fic from last time, your Septiplier fic.
Should we explain to them that that's why we're redoing this?
Well, yes. So we decided to redo this just because it felt like there was more to be explored, but also because I wanted to know how Bailey, the fic that Bailey's been reading, how that's been going for the most part. So really, it's just me being selfish, but I'm okay with that. So Bailey,
For those of you who might not have been around, it's currently 59 chapters ongoing on Wattpad, and it's called Yes, Master Septiplier by Storm Wolf Diamond.
bless you, Storm Wolf Diamond.
And they keep updating, and I didn't think I'd get sucked into this, but surprise, surprise, I did. Because it's just so wild, and I only read the first 28 chapters, I think, last week. And the more I read on, the crazier it got. And then I mentioned to Allison, hey, all this stuff's happening, and she goes, I think we need to...
Yeah.
We need to come back.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think when we last left off, we met Cry and Felix, and they were also PewDiePie, and they were also in like a dom-sub relationship.
Which is, wonderful. It's fine. It's great.
Call PewDiePie Daddy. Daddy Pewds. Please stop.
That's so gross.
Yeah, okay, how do you think I feel, okay? So, long story short, Cry got mad because Markiplier treats Jack better in terms of like the dom-sub relationship. Like PewDiePie's a little abusive, and Cry got upset, so he threw a crepe at Jack.
That's literally all I've been talking about this past week is Jack throwing a crepe, or Cry throwing a crepe in Jack's face. That's all I cared about. That's all I wanted to have this second half for, is so you could understand how hilarious that is. Someone throwing a crepe in someone else's face.
So it turns out when it hits him in the face, it also, because it's a crepe and it's all ooey gooey and whatever, it slides down and it whacks him in the crotch too. Because it just goes pwa, slide, pa.
Someone obviously did not make that crepe right then.
The bad crepe.
As like the foodie of this group.
Bad fanfiction, bad crepe. Oh dear.
But they go home and PewDiePie like smacks Cry in the back of the head for acting like that, so it's just awful. And then Mark and Jack go home. And Jack goes, I need to take a bath, obviously, because crepe.
Because crepe.
Mark, here we go. This is when it started getting bad, and this is how I knew we needed to come back to it.
Uh-huh.
This is Mark's point of view. I head to my office, my kitten collar in my hands. I opened my office door and went to take my seat on my leather chair. I looked down at the choker. It was Stickies from the ice cream.
Stickies?
It was Stickies.
Stickies from the ice cream?
I rested my head on the back on my chair. He looked so cute when the ice cream was in the mouth. It looked like something else, I whispered. This is ellipses, too.
Was in the mouth. This like wording is the best.
Are you ready? Soon I felt a pain. I looked down. My problem was showing. It started to hurt. No, Mark, it was just ice cream, not white cream. I could feel my face turning red of the thought.
White cream.
That's... Okay.
So that happens, and he decides to take him to a Sweethearts Carnival. And they go, and they have a good time. It's a great time. But all of a sudden, these two guys that, I don't know who the hell they are. They're called, they're Nathaniel and Jonathan, and they work for this guy. I don't know who he is. I don't know if these characters are fictional or not.
That's one of the problems I found with Real People fanfiction, is I'm not entirely sure if the people that they're referencing are real or not at times.
Yeah, I don't know. So these people could be fictional, or they could be real people that are in some way involved in Mark, Jack, and Felix's lives. I do not know.
It's a mystery.
But let me see. I gotta skip forward, yeah, because there's like 6 chapters are just all about the carnival.
Dedicated to this carnival.
Let's try chapter 47.
Whoa.
A few
Go,
days
girl.
pass. Oh yeah, Jack goes back home for a while. And then he gets kidnapped.
Because in any good fan fiction, the love interest has to get kidnapped. It's rule of thumb, man.
He got chloroformed in the bathroom, coming back.
How did he get into his bathroom?
Coming back from the airport.
Oh.
So there's this other guy, Luke. I don't know who he is, but long story short, he wants Jack to be his submissive. But
So let's kidnap him.
no. But the thing is, Luke wants Jack to be his submissive, and here we go, man. In that weird kind of fetish porn where the people wear the diapers and they're in the giant cribs.
What?
That's why I said this got wild.
Okay. Yeah, that's fun.
So he doesn't get chloroformed, and then
Put it in a diaper?
yeah, he doesn't come back from the airport, and Mark's like, "Where's my kitten?"
Where's my kitten?
And soon I felt my phone ringing. I looked at the screen. A picture of him inside a crib wearing only a diaper and a big white sock, laying down and his hand handcuffed.
What?
I look at the email, my eyes filled with anger. I quickly got into my car and drove home. Nobody mess with kitten.
Why is he wearing a sock? One sock. He's only wearing one sock.
Quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I'm subscribed to Jack, but I've never actually watched his videos. But I remember seeing like one of his screenshots for his videos being like a Photoshop of his face on a baby.
Oh, yeah. That was that game, oh man, what is it called?
It's the daddy one though, right?
Yeah, this is a game called Who's Your Daddy? You play as a baby and your end goal is to kill yourself before your mother comes home.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And
It's
as the dad, you
funny.
gotta stop the baby from killing itself, so you start like locking things and making sure the baby doesn't drink
I know
bleach
what you're
or
talking
drown.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of that as you're saying.
Maybe it spawned from that.
God.
It doesn't
Maybe.
help that in the entire video, because Jack played it with PewDiePie and Mark. It doesn't
Yeah.
help that he's going,
Oh.
"Hi, Daddy!
Yeah.
Hello, Daddy!
Oh no.
Hello, my child."
Aww.
It's a whole thing. So Jack wakes up from his chloroform, and he goes, "Soon I heard a deep voice. Hello, baby boy," with that little thing. That's
Oh, the
the
squiggly?
the little squiggly. My eyes widened. No, it can't be him. So he's in America, and the guy's like, "Daddy can't stay here. He have work to do. You can stay here and play." I almost forgot. Here, baby boy. He placed the binky in my mouth as he locks the collar behind my head. So, turns out the whole point of all these guys kidnapping Jack is because it's because they want to let out Jack and Mark's evil alter egos that have taken up shelter in their bodies. So, Jack and Mark started doing this thing where they have dark alter egos for like some videos for like Halloween spooky times or anything. Like Jack's is antiseptic,
The
right?
antiseptic guy, yeah.
And Mark's is called Darkiplier. So it started off as jokes, and then they started doing their own little like offshoot segment sketches with them and whatever. So they're featured in this, and they can only come out of Mark and Jack if they're super stressed out and angry. And they come out and they're like super sexual and they're in a relationship together. But they also go to bars and drink and have sex with lots of prostitutes, I guess.
Man,
So-
YouTube fandom is wild.
No, and it just keeps going. So, I don't know. Jack escapes. It just updated a couple days ago to chapter 59. And Jack escapes, and he runs into Cry,
Oh my
who's
god.
just walking home with his hands full of like groceries.
Oh, this week. Take me home. Take me to your master. Is that the
Yeah.
is that the
Take
thing
me
you're
to
talking
Jamie.
about?
Oh my god.
Cry! He quickly hugged me, making me drop the groceries. Huh? Cry! He tightly hugged me. I need help, he said shakily. Jack point of view. I pulled away. I don't care if tears run down my face. Cry! He looked at me confused. Jack? Yes! What are you doing here? Long story. There no time. You need to take me to your master. Huh? I quickly grabbed his wrist. Please! He sighed. Fine. Time skip. Cry! POV. Master! I'm home! I opened the door with groceries in my arms. Welcome back, my little ghost. That's what I imagine PewDiePie sounds like. That's what it kind of sounds like to me. I hope the trip to the store wasn't any trouble. Master walked up to me. Let's help you with the There was a kitten in a maid dress behind Cry. I looked at the collar, and it says Nathaniel Valentine. Didn't he belong to Mark? The green-haired kitten looked at me, his face covered in dry tears. His
What?
dress also had dirt spots around.
Why is he calling him a kitten? He is a human being.
So, yeah, he was rescued, but Mark is still being held captive.
Well, how did he get caught?
He got caught trying to save Jack.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so right now Mark's still being held captive by all these random people who might be real or not real.
People.
And Jack's like, I have to save Master.
Oh my god.
So,
He came to save me, but then I got away, but then he got caught, so now I have to say it's an
it's got all the charm of
cycles.
a badly written novella.
Oh yeah.
But at least
Telenovela.
novellas are compelling, and there's weather aspects to it.
Excuse me, I'm compelled. I'm
Clearly.
59 chapters deep, I'm compelled.
Yeah.
One could go so far as to say I'm balls deep in this fanfiction.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, despite it having such graphic tags, there's no sex.
Huh.
Or I would have read it to you guys already. Duh. But
Yeah.
there's nothing. Nothing at all.
interesting.
Like, they talk about the fetishes, but
But
they
then-
don't. Nothing happens. So. Ta-da!
So that's what's been going on with you.
It's an ongoing sin, and it doesn't help because now I'm watching their Let's Plays again because
Oh,
last
God.
two came out. So I'm just sitting there going, Jack.
Speaking of watching the people that you just read fic about, Alexis was messaging me over the week, and it's funny because you two were both judging me and me reading real people fan fiction, but oh no,
Oh.
here we go, Alexis. Alexis was messaging me. She is like, I'm reading this fic. I finished the fic, and now I can't believe he did that. I can't watch him for a while because I'm just judging him. Yeah, that was you. Tell us about this fic you were reading.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah?
Or like, it fits with like last week too because I talked about this band.
Someone else is balls deep in real people fan fiction.
Yeah. Okay.
Tell us more.
So yeah, this deals with K-pop again, and it was the band GOT7. And I like, because I was doing my homework and all that bull, I ended up reading as many scenarios as I could just to like get a feel for it. And some of them were actually kind of cute, and that was the trap because they were cute.
That's how they get you.
And I was just like, okay, maybe I'll give some of these fics a try. But like, of course, I wanted to stay in the fluff area because I was too scared about the smut. And
And then all we heard for a week was, oh, I'm reading all these fanfics and all this wild stuff is happening.
yeah, so like, it didn't help that like I was very emotional and high strung because I was PMSing. Like, anyways, so I went to like a specific member because that was the one that was just like, this is actually really cute and I like this. And it's the leader of the group, JB, otherwise known by his full name as Jbum. And oh god. So
Yeah.
I'm getting so flustered. So I don't remember if like I read like a cute one shot first or I read the one I was messaging you guys about. But like the
There is
one
no beginning, there is no end.
there's no
Endless
beginning.
cycle.
But basically like I did read a 21 chapter fic on this guy. and
You go, girl.
and I don't want to say it's an AU because it wasn't, because it actually commented on the fact that they are GOT7 and they're a band and you had to be in a secret relationship with him because it couldn't be in the public. But anyways, this is like after apparently 2 years of being together with this guy. Oh, this is a JBoom X reader, by the way, so it's like in second person.
It's always fun.
Yeah. And the chapter immediately starts off with the girl talking about him cheating because she knows, but she hasn't confronted him yet.
Oh no.
And then, so she knew he was gonna meet up the girl that he was cheating with. So she followed him without him knowing, and like she was just watching everything happen from outside the club window, and she was just watching it happen, and she was just feeling like, this is a quote from this fic: rage, hurt, betrayal, emptiness.
A+ writing.
Those were the 4 emotions that coursed through your veins each day that you saw Jabum leave and go to see that woman he had been seeing behind your back for the past 2 months. You had found out almost immediately as you knew Jabum from inside out. You knew him better than he knew himself. Everything about him. Right down to his tiny little habits that you always found adorable off since he began cheating on you. So yeah, that was a really wild start, and for some reason I was like, yo, this sounds
I'm
good.
picturing her standing outside of the club like,
No, she's
It's raining.
It's raining.
She's
She
drenched
feels
and she's
betrayed.
staring into the club.
You just hear simple
Oh, just
plans.
wait.
How could this happen to me?
no, just like it wasn't raining, but she did start crying.
It was
raining
from her eyes.
Yeah, it was raining from her eyes.
Drama.
You felt tears begin to stream down your face as you turned on your heel and went to run across the road back to your car so you could drive all night to no place in particular until every ounce of gas was gone from your tank. There were no commas. That's all just like one sentence.
I love you so much.
I know you said you were done, but
okay, so we keep saying that because it's a reference to this dumb video where some girl was crying and trying to call her boyfriend and get him back, but the way she was crying just sounded like a car.
It's beautiful.
But anyways, so yeah, all that happened. You blinked, feeling the salty water from your eyes sting you and blur your vision as you dry heaved in an attempt to silence your crying. So she was like sobbing. All you could hear was the ringing in your ears from your hypersensitive emotions. But this meant that you also couldn't hear the car that was now 5 feet away from you, laying on the horn and screeching at 50 miles per hour. That's not that fast. You stopped, knowing that it was too late and being caught like a complete deer in headlights, just watching as the car skidded right in your direction. It was just like it was in the movies. Your whole life flashed before your eyes. And funnily enough, most of them were the memories you held so close to your heart that happened between you and J-Boom and the rest of GOT7.
That cheating bitch.
Anyways, long story short, she got hit by the car. She didn't die.
She going to coma?
There's 21 chapters.
And
is this the first chapter?
This is the first chapter.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the first chapter is like the accident. Like she just like lays down like she knows about the cheating and then she gets hit.
She get hit with
and then,
feelings. Also a car.
And then yeah, she was in a coma for. It wasn't a year. I think it was like 6 to 8 months. And during that time, the cheating boyfriend, because he figured out that
she knew
that she kind of knew, but he didn't really process it, and then he kept lying to all his members about it because they were trying to call him for 4 hours while she was in the hospital.
But he was in the club with his girl.
Yeah, he was in the club, and then they left to a love hotel because they have that in Korea.
Yeah.
So yeah, they went to a love hotel and they were there like just doing the
getting the sexies on.
Yeah, and then
while she's dying.
But she's dying in the hospital, and like in the hospital, since I read this and I remember, so they called the last person that was on like her call and messages, which was one of the members from GOT7, and he was like, "Oh no, we have to go and see her." So they all went, and they were calling her boyfriend, and he wouldn't answer, and then eventually he did after 4 hours, like I said. And then he came to the hospital and he was like, "What happened?" And he's like freaking out and he's trying to do like the good boyfriend spiel of being all worried. And then like, guess what his bullshit answer was?
What?
To his members about him not being there for 4 hours? He's like, "Oh yeah, we got into a fight and I just went out for a run."
I went for 4 hours.
I went out for a 4-hour run.
Yeah, that's what the guy said. Like
a lot of feelings.
For 4 hours.
Yeah, so the other member, his name was Jackson. He was just like, "You ran for 4 hours," and he was super fishy about it, and he has every right to be.
Yeah, that's a dumb answer.
Yeah, and then he just took it because he knew that J-Boom wasn't gonna give him the right answer.
The truth.
They were like, okay, so yeah, that happened, and then the group was gonna promote, but J-Boom was too like overwhelmed with feelings because of the car accident and because he was cheating and his girlfriend almost died because he was cheating or something.
The question is, does he continue cheating while she's in a coma?
No, he stopped. Like he turned off his phone and he got a completely new phone from the company that he works for. And then even though the band had to promote, he couldn't do it because his girlfriend was in a coma. And somehow the CEO was understanding of it and was like, "Okay,
that's fine.
You could be on hiatus, and then like all the other members are just gonna promote." Under a new name, which I thought was super dumb and that wouldn't happen anyways.
So the real question is, how does it end?
Oh, that is a better question. How does it end? Okay, so there were 2 endings to make people happy, which was dumb. So the first ending...
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah. The first ending that I liked a lot better, she woke up from her coma, she got all her memories back, and then he told her about cheating because she wanted to know like from him, and they basically told each other like their sides of the story, and then they tried to get back together, but they couldn't. So she ended up getting with Jackson.
Ah, the fishy guy.
The guy that was fishy of the original boyfriend. So she got with him, and then did like a whole time skip of like 10 years later, they're married and they have kids.
Of course.
Of course. And it was all happy and dandy until out of nowhere, it showed that the original boyfriend was all upset that she's like married and left. And then she got triggered because she saw like merch about the old boyfriend. And then all of a sudden she like quote unquote died.
She died.
Yeah, like she fainted.
I saw his t-shirt and I couldn't handle it.
Yeah, and then the next...
Oh, my heart.
The next chapter showed that it was all a dream. Like, the whole series was a dream. Like, all the drama was a dream. And Javen dreamed up everything, and then Jackson only dreamed up the part about him.
It was a joint dream.
Yeah. So Javen dreamed everything up until the coma and breaking up, and then Jackson...
Reality, J-Bum and Jackson were meant to be together because they're sharing dreams, clearly.
Yeah. And then Jackson had the dream where he ended up marrying her. And that's how it ended. And it was just like...
Bailey, you're making so many faces. What's going on in your head right now? What's going on?
That's how I was going to end my fanfic. It was going to be a dream. All of it.
All of it. The one where Mori-senpai breaks some
No,
ribs.
the sequel, thank you.
The sequel.
The sequel. No, jeez.
He was just too strong.
He was too strong.
I think about that so often. It makes me happy every time.
You watch the fan videos I made.
Oh,
God.
I'm self-promote, bitches. No, but that's what it reminded me of. It's all a dream. It was all a dream.
Oh,
I feel cheated. Alexis.
But yeah.
But the drama.
This was all a dream, and I was just like, okay. And then I am like shaming myself for thinking it was good because now that I'm actually reading this and analyzing it, it's terrible.
Yeah.
But
that's the funny thing about reading fanfic and then looking back at it objectively, and you're like, why did I actually find this like really good? Because objectively, at least written horribly.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Well, because I just live for the drama.
Right? I'm just like, yes, give it to me. I love it.
But yeah, even though I fell into this hellhole, I actively tried to stay in the fluff because the smut was scary. And then there's a bunch of like either threesomes with other members, or it's just fluff and smut between members themselves and without the reader, because there's a bunch of ships within the group and it's just like, it's so weird and kind of creepy, and I'm just like, no, they're family, don't do this.
Yeah, I without shame read like 100,000 word plus fanfic over the weekend. It was fantastic, and I have no shame. It was so good. Oh my god. But in the meantime, I decided, because I was so intrigued by Bailey's fanfic, I decided to go look into the Septiplier fandom, and I found an Alpha, Beta, Omega one.
Let it die!
No. And
let it die!
And it's not schmutty or anything, but like, the reason I think it's just funny is because, so like Jack is like the super like fragile like flower. Yeah. And they're doing a testing period with him and Mark, 'cause I guess that's a thing, where like you test out to see if you're compatible before like doing the do or something.
I've seen that in some fanfics.
And so like when basically in almost every scene in this fanfic, Mark is wearing his own merchandise, which I think is just weird. I'm just like,
he's self-promoting.
All the time, all day, every day. When he's sleeping, when he's cooking, he just has all of the merch for everything. And then the reason it's kind of dumb, and it's called Septiplier by Macaroon 001, is because Mark is just like this super nice guy. He could never do anything wrong. And it's super sweet. And that's why I hate it. It's too sweet.
Oh, I thought you were reading the fan fiction to me.
Yeah, I thought you were reading it already. I was like, what?
No,
are you trying to say that Markiplier's an asshole?
No, I'm just like in any good story, there's conflict and stuff happens. I mean, to some extent there is conflict where like I guess Jack was raped by his...
Okay, that's conflict.
Yeah, that's conflict. But like it's kind of like a background thing. And the stupid thing about this fic is that like it ends, but but like there's no resolution. Like they kind of talk about how like, oh, he's like, oh yeah, you know, you'd never love me if you knew what happened to me. Like you wouldn't want me anymore. And he's like, no, like tell me it'll be okay. And then he does.
Okay.
And then everything's okay. And then Jack becomes friends with all of Mark's friends, who are also alphas and omegas, who are all paired off together.
Oh God, are Bob and Wade paired up?
I don't think they're in this one.
Oh, okay, save them. They're pure. One of them got married.
But like Cry and PewDiePie are once again, but Cry is the alpha in this one, which I thought was funny for some reason. You clearly enjoy this. And so suddenly, like towards like the end chapters, Mark starts getting all weird, and he's like, there's nothing wrong, I'm fine. And then Jack's just like, oh no, what's wrong? And then Mark goes off to like the cemetery to go visit his father's grave or something.
I was gonna say, it's like Mark in Heat? Was that it?
No. And then that's how it ends, is just like Jack being like, I wonder what's wrong, why is he at this cemetery?
Maybe there's a sequel.
There is a sequel, but then that one ends too, and you still don't get any answers. I was just like, I want to know, even though this is like not the greatest thing ever written, I still want to know what happened. Like I'm hooked. Like I want to know.
It was
I
all a
need to
dream.
know.
I want to know
Was
why
it
Jack's
all a
always the
dream?
Omega. Why
What?
is Jack always the weak one? Is it because he's
funny.
thinner? That's all? Mark's apparently like kind of short. I don't understand.
Is he?
Apparently.
I gotta Google this. How tall are they?
I thought Mark
Google
was
has
like
all the
5'8".
answers.
I consider that short for men.
Well, because you're 5'8".
I'm
Mark.
5'6".
Okay, Jack. I'm 5'4".
I wish I was 5'8".
I'm like 5'4",
I'm
so like
nearly
anything
5'7".
anything 5'8" and above is
know.
taller than me already.
I don't know. Jack's just got a more, in terms of YouTube personality, his just seems more out there and more aggressive.
Yeah.
So, if anything, I don't know. That's just me.
It doesn't have his height on here.
I never agree with these quote-unquote top-bottom pairings. Like the Sasuke Naruto ones, the Castiel Dean Winchester ones.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
So, aside from reading fanfic and stuff, I decided to Google why people write real people fanfics, which is something I ask myself all the time, since I technically do write real people fanfics occasionally. 'Cause I'm a bad person. But like, cause it's weird, cause I always see the arguments on Tumblr and stuff about like, you know, the ethics of like, you know, whether or not people should be writing real people fanfics. Because for some people it's just like, you know, it's okay to write them as long as like you don't start like harassing the person that it's been written about. Like you start like trying to send it to them or like their family and stuff. Like that's like stepping over the line. Where some people like just don't do it at all. And so like I found like different articles and stuff, and some people like totally for it. They're like, you know, like these people are celebrities, like they put out this persona, and so it's okay for us to write about them. And then for some people it's like, well, like it's okay to write about them as long as like you don't bring like their family and other like quote unquote non-consenting people into it, which kind of says that the people that you are initially writing about are consenting in the writing of this fanfic. So it's weird. It's like in this one article. That being said, for me personally, the ethics of RPF become more of a gray area when celebrities, family members, including spouses or children, are brought into the mix. These are people who have not chosen to be in the public eye. During a transitory period of Thorkey, which is Thor and Loki shipping, I remember reading a Chris Hemsworth / Tom Hiddleston RPF and cringing when Hemsworth's spouse and daughter were brought into the narrative for dramatic effect. Perhaps a way to combat the non-consensual inclusion of family members would be to change the names of these characters. Then again, whether this actually solves any sort of ethical dilemma is debatable. So it's weird.
But like, it's like what you said. Like the celebrities aren't consenting themselves. It just happens.
Yeah. And because for me, when I write real people fanfic, usually it's based off of like, because I remember telling you guys before, the 21 Pilots fanfic that I did, or am currently writing, is based off of a music video that they did that I wanted to understand what the storyline was. So using their actual names, I made them into these characters and then rolled with that. Whereas some people, it's like it's really them. And like, it's weird, because then you also see people like in like, you guys know who like Dan and Phil are, right?
Yeah.
YouTubers.
That's when I first actually became aware, besides Shane Dawson and Joey Graceffa or whatever.
That's when I became aware.
That's when I first became aware of like the real people shipping, because people constantly ship them. Like, I actually thought that they were a couple for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about them, and then I'm like, wait, they're not.
Like
people
out of context, it's just like, oh, like, are these people together? Cause
I totally thought they were, and then I actually looked into them and I was like, nah, people are just awful.
Yeah, like, because I remember there was like this big drama because there was a fic about Dan and Phil obviously being shipped together, and then in the fic, I think it was like Dan or one of the two like cheated on the other with another YouTuber who's one of my faves, Kick the PJ. And so like people were sending hate to Kick the PJ because they're like, how could you do that? Like da da da, acting like as if this fic was like real life.
Oh my god.
And so like people honestly didn't like him because of what happened in this fic, and like he had to like tweet like, you know, like that's not actually me. Like if you think like if you're judging someone based on something that happened in a fanfic, then that makes you kind of an awful person because it's not real. And so it's just like, I'm just like, it's a very conflicting subject. Because is it bad? Am I doing a bad? I don't know.
I mean, like, I think mine is weird considering that they're not American celebrities. Or, like, even they're not in, like, Westworld celebrities, you know? Like, Westerners, I should say.
Westworld.
Westworld. They're not
They're
Westerners.
robots.
They're Westerners, and they're not Westerners. And then that's what makes it weird, because it's just, like, sometimes I wonder if they know that there's people writing this, and I wonder if in, like, Asian countries are people writing stuff like this, too.
And not even to mention, it's totally different for them, because, like, when we were talking last week about the whole they can't have relationships, stuff like that, so I feel like when you write fan fiction about them, it becomes something different, because they're actually not allowed to be their own people at all.
Yeah.
So I feel like it gets worse.
Yeah, like, that's why, for me, and I feel bad, that's why I consider them characters, because it's like, that's what they are for the public, and you never know what they're like in private life, because they have to be this for the sake of the company, and because they signed a contract. So it's just, it's like this whole other world, and I'm just like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, because I know for, like, some celebrities, especially, like, in, like, fandom, they purposely put out a certain persona that I know is, they talk about, like, it's very different from their own actual who they are. And so in some respect, it's like, okay, we're writing about this character who is distinctly different from who they might actually be, and yet that line is always kind of blurry. So I don't know. There's no winning with this. It's just like...
But they'll still keep going.
Exactly. It's like you can't really make people stop, because you just can't. You can tell them it's wrong, but then there's always gonna be people like, well, they're gonna come back with the argument like, well, they're characters, you know, they're celebrities, they're quote unquote not real people. So it's...
I guarantee there's probably already Outlast 2 fanfiction being written where Mark is the person that gets kidnapped by the crazy religious people and Jack has to go save him.
Oh, God.
Or vice versa. I guarantee, because they're both playing it right now. So.
That's fun.
Oh, yeah. You know what's going to be fun? Next week. I'm excited.
What?
Next week's the X-Reader, right? Is it?
Is that what we're doing?
I read an X-Reader already.
Because I already have my fandom picked out.
Oh my God.
I'm doing. Like...
You go, girl. All right. Yeah, sure. We can do that.
Someone doing
X-Reader. You know, I can never get into, like, second person, but I will try for you guys.
They don't even... Can we... The fandom I'm doing the X-Reader for, they talk a lot about the daddy kink, so next week I think we need to talk about that.
What is you and the daddy kink,
It keeps
Bailey?
appearing in my life, like in this fanfiction, it just appeared.
I think this is more about you than it does about
It appeared to her last night because my shampoo...
It appeared to her in a dream.
No, because my shampoo, it's called Daddy-O. And, like, she just saw Daddy.
It was just tilted and just said Daddy. So, again, Allison, like most things, my life doesn't actually, it's not driven by me. Things just happen to me. And for some reason, a lot of those things have the word daddy attached to them.
Thank you for listening to Bad Fan Fiction Fridays. To listen to more episodes, check us out on iTunes or any of your favorite podcast apps. As the title says, this podcast updates every Friday during the semester. Our multimedia manager is Allison Meyer. Music in this episode is from the YouTube audio library. This has been a Union Weekly production. Please follow us on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Union Weekly.